Welcome, and for some of you, welcome back. I'm Kathleen, and in this episode of Choosing Happy, we're going to explore the art of gratitude. Yes, I said art. There's a lot of magic contained in gratitude if done well. Heck, even if your gratitude lacks finesse, it's still pretty powerful. The term gratitude seems to be coming at us from all directions, and because of this, it is becoming increasingly easier to dismiss. I think this is because we are just told to do it and not given a why or how. Most of us will recall being a little kid and having our parent prompt us to reply with, "Thank you," and not being given an explanation as to why we needed to say these two words day in and day out to everyone for everything. Eventually, we just became complacent and used to saying them, and they pretty much lost their meaning. We're going to undo some of that by exploring gratitude or thankfulness in an effort to understand what it truly means, how it affects us as individuals and society, and how to execute it in a multitude of effective ways. Gratitude or thankfulness, by definition, is simply the feeling that you get when you appreciate something or someone. More specifically, it is a sense of happiness and thankfulness in response to a fortunate happenstance or tangible gift. Keeping track of the things you appreciate can improve your mood and your health. All right, I said health, and now I have your attention. Researchers have found that practicing gratitude can boost your immunity, help you to sleep better, soften depression symptoms, and even increase the amount of time you exercise by an average of 1.5 hours more a week compared to people who focused on the negative in their lives. During my classroom teaching career, I was privileged to have been able to have conversations with children of all ages about happiness, gratitude, kindness, and empathy. I found their insight in these areas to be fascinating. I especially liked discussing gratitude with the younger ones, as we were able to break down the why into very simple and effective terms. I would ask them to close their eyes and choose one thing that they feel really thankful or excited about. I made sure that they understood that it could be anything: a special person, a pet, a food that they loved, their favorite toy or video game, anything, as long as it made them happy. They were then asked to figure out how it made them feel while they were thinking about it. Did they feel warm and fuzzy, tingly, excited? Were they smiling? They could usually identify one of these feelings and sometimes came up with a new one. Whatever the case, they recognized that thinking about this made them feel different, usually in a positive way. I then explained that these feelings were often the result of chemicals in the body that are created just because we feel grateful. And better yet, these chemicals over time will help to make you healthier, stronger, and happier, like free medicine. They agreed this was really cool, and I like that it was a simple way of looking at gratitude that offered them a small bit of control over their emotions and their body. They were encouraged to do this activity as often as they remembered, and I suggested that first thing in the morning or before bed might be best. I think that we all too often overcomplicate things because, as you may have already figured out, strategy works well for adults too. When we experience gratitude, not just think it, but feel it as well, it's really important to connect both as mind and body. We unleash a cocktail of hormones that improves our health and well-being. When expressing or receiving gratitude, our brain releases dopamine and serotonin, the two neurotransmitters responsible for our emotions, and they make us feel really good. Psychological and physiological changes from gratitude include improved inflammatory and immune responses, reduced cortisol levels, the stress hormone, increased levels of oxytocin, the bonding and love hormone, increased levels of endorphins, natural opioids associated with pain relief, lower blood pressure and heart rate, improved sleep, reduction of anxiety and depression, better blood sugar control, and reduced risk of overall poor health and disease. Now, you tell me, if these benefits were available in a prescription medicine, we would not hesitate to spend a virtual fortune to get our hands on these remarkable results. The reality is that this incredible booster is available to us for free at all times. As Glinda, the Good Witch of the North in The Wizard of Oz, tells Dorothy, "You always had the power, my dear. You just had to learn it for yourself." Now then, let's move on to the equally, if not more important, how. Don't worry if you're a cynical grump. Gratitude is the most changeable character strength because it's about mindfulness, something anyone can do. Studies show that while genetics account for half our happiness level, the other half is under our everyday control. Here are 10 tips to help you get your gratitude mojo going. Start by simply putting your focus on your breath. Close your eyes and count a slow 4 on inhale. Hold for 4 while you visualize something that you are thankful for, and then keep that image in your head as you slowly exhale for 6. Did you do it? You might want to choose a few things in advance of starting so that you don't get caught up in trying to come up with stuff in the moment. Some will see this as a form of meditation, but I really don't want to intimidate you with such terms just yet. So let's just call it breathy thanky. Try post-it notes. I know people who just love post-it notes. The idea being that on each small piece of paper, jot down something you are grateful for and stick it in a place that you go to often in your home to constantly remind you of your blessings. Maybe change them out daily or weekly. You can do this for as many post-it notes as you have. The sky's the limit. What if you just made it a point to express gratitude to members of your family, and maybe pets, for things that you usually take for granted? The results might surprise you. They might even start doing it back. Well, okay, that might be pushing it, but who knows? One of the best ways to express gratitude is through journaling. Now, I know you've probably heard this advice before, but it's really the gold standard for increasing one's happiness. You don't need to run out and buy a fancy notebook that has beautiful nature-based pictures and inspirational quotes. Any dollar store ruled notebook will do. Writing stuff down by hand is said to be better than typing on a device, as it creates a stronger hand-to-brain connection. You can choose any format that suits you: stream of consciousness, diary, listing, storytelling, whatever. You do you. And this logically brings us to lists. As you already know, I love lists. List what you are thankful for, count your blessings, organize your gratitude onto paper in a way that makes the most sense to you. It all works. Do it in the morning with your coffee, in the evening as a part of winding down, or another part of the day that suits you best. But the goal, as always, is to try and make it a habit. How about a gratitude jar? This is actually a fun idea, especially if you want to get the whole family involved. You simply write down things, people, or events that you are thankful for on a small, colorful piece of paper. Fold those up and throw them into a rather large jar. You might continue to do this until the jar is full. When this happens, there might be a family reward like game night, a movie, a restaurant dinner, maybe even a little trip. And of course, you would make an event of reading out all the pieces of paper so that everyone can experience that gratitude once again. Write a letter to someone who perhaps might not even be expecting it, that expresses gratitude toward them. Try to make it as detailed as possible and really connect with how you feel as you think about this person. As a teacher, I've gotten a couple of these letters, and let me tell you, they really have an impact. What's great about it is that it covers both expressing and receiving gratitude in a really powerful way. It's win-win. Another simple exercise is something I like to call the thank you game. This one is easy in that all you have to do is go out into the world and remember to say thank you as many times to as many people as possible. You'll be surprised to learn that you weren't doing it as often as you think. And if you want to take it up another level, increase your smile count as well. Next time you do it, see if you can beat your best score, or maybe compete with other family members. How about technology? Maybe set some alarms or reminders on your smartwatch to make time for gratitude. How about downloading some gratitude apps onto your phone or tablet? What if we started ignoring all of those negative posts and comments on social media and bombarded it with just positive ones that reflect the shift that we would like to see in the world? Members of my social media group, Love Happy, know what I'm talking about. And finally, prayer. How much simpler can gratitude get than prayer? It doesn't matter how you pray or to whom or what. The act of praying is in itself a loving expression of gratitude and will serve you well on this journey. It really needs no further explanation. Okay, so let's recap. We covered the why of gratitude and we covered the how. We established that practicing gratitude does so many things, but most importantly, it makes us generally happier and healthier. And our spouses like us more. Okay, well, I made that last part up, but I'll bet it's true. We explored a few gratitude exercises that you can try to find out what works for you. Again, everyone is different. You can choose one or more from the list: your breath, post-it notes, at-home gratitude, journaling, lists, gratitude jar, personal letter, thank you game, technology, and of course, prayer. I'm really interested in knowing what works for you, so please take the opportunity to share your experience in the comments. I do have to add that, again, this is just the tip of the iceberg for gratitude, and I'm planning an expansion to include other aspects and more detail later in the series. Thank you for visiting with me at the Mission Happy Lab. Please share this video to social media or personally with at least one person that would appreciate and benefit from this content. As always, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and throw in a like if you are so inclined. Bye for now, be kind to others, and I hope to see you again in the next episode.